What's going on, you anal errands, ball-busting berries, cornhole Carls, and down-low Dans? Welcome to Groomer Month on Grunt Speak.
Live from the lair.
Gleep, glop, and floop-de-doo at your service.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys miss me? I bet you did. Well, like 3 of you. Yeah.
Well, we have another life saved.
Yeah, that's what I heard. 521, right? I think he was F. Laddie on Rumble, and then we just wanted to know his story, but now it is official.
Yep.
Al
We
freaking
appreciate it.
Stan.
Now, I have to be honest with everyone out there. I screwed up the numbering system, and I received emails over the past 2 or 3 months that apparently there's 4 or 5 guys who got the same number, and that happened like 5, 10, 15 times. I don't even know. So we're probably,
We might be at like 550.
we're like 550, 570. But I'm just being honest with you that it's underestimated.
Yeah. Well, maybe we can try to iron it out. If you have a life-saved number assigned to you, start sending Pop your number, and then we can actually go through one at a time and figure out how much overlap we have, and if necessary, we can reassign.
What a
new
goddamn
numbers.
brain injury worm pile.
Yeah.
But, there's worse things that
It's a good problem to have.
that you could screw up. Really.
This is very much a good problem to have,
Yeah, yeah.
unlike some of the stuff that we're going to be talking about tonight.
And he purposely didn't, show the stories to me so I'd be surprised.
Yes, one of them is a Title IX story from hell,
Oh!
and that is the main event.
I hate Title IX.
But first, let's find out the story of our new life saved here. F. Laddie70 from Rumble. I want to tell you my real name is Eric, and I'm going to leave it at that. I
That's
do have
fine.
a few stories to tell you, but I'm going to do that for another time. First, I want to tell you both thank you for saving my life, and it means a lot with the information that you lay out there for everyone, and also making me laugh as well. Thank you for everything, and I want to say cheers to you both and the other MGTOW men out there. So the first story I want to tell you, my journey started in my senior year of high school when I noticed how girls were acting like whores and sleuths, and wouldn't give me attention even when I played football either. That's okay with me because I know they're trouble.
Yep.
I do have a few stories from high school that I want to tell you, and it can help younger men learning about everything that would be for another email, though, so I'm going to try to keep this short. After I got out of high school, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I thought about going to college and then realized that is not a place for me because of how much it is and how much debt it can cause, so no thank you. Smart man.
Yeah, it's total bullshit right now. 2/3
Oh, yeah.
of it is just in-doc bullshit they make you pay for.
Yeah.
General education requirements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck that. You get that in high school. At least you used to.
Yeah. I mean, the tuition money was supposed to be for education,
Mhm.
things like that. Now it's for, we could use all of that government loan money to actually fund their education, maybe pay our teachers a little bit better so that we could have capitalists instead of Marxists. But no, I want a clock tower shaped like a giant cock right in the middle of campus.
Yeah, so where the crazy guys go up there to shoot people.
Yeah. BS! He continues, I also do want to deal with women. I don't want to deal with women who could cause problems, and we all know what the problems they can cause. It is also way too woke as well. I have a great name for college now. We can call it adult kindergarten. It's actually not a bad idea.
That's actually, that's viable.
If I'm having trouble reading this, it's because he clearly had trouble writing it.
It's okay.
This is reading like a Hubert Selby Jr. novel.
Is it worse than my writing?
No.
Okay.
Hence why I'm able to read it. All joking aside, that's him, not me. To tell you what I'm doing now. I started to work on the corporate America side, such as doing retail jobs like a grocery store. I also did security for a concert venue. Other jobs as well. I did that all in my 20s. Now I'm in my 30s. Made a huge change for me and my life. I wanted to say that I started going back to the gym and eating right as well. My goal weight is to get down to 200. I'm at 288 right now. So it's time to do the work.
Yep.
I would agree. If you're in your 30s and you're at 288, you should definitely try to reach your weight goal by the time you're in your mid-30s. Otherwise, it's going to become way more difficult.
It took me forever to go from 226 to 190.
And all we had to do was cut out the booze. Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe.
No, I did cut way back.
Yeah, I know you did. Well, not far back enough. Like I come over here today, I was like, hey, you got any more of that beer Ballistic Zero brought us? He's like, no. Well, good. At least I got one Sapporo left.
I can't lie.
Did Evil pop any of that beer, or was it just you?
That was me.
That was all good, Pop.
I've been writing my fourth novel, and I fueled the last chapter with beer.
That does happen. I'm not even going to judge you for that one. Sometimes you just get there, you get into a mode, and you're like, oh, yeah, and you get to something next to you, just start sipping, get like a bottle of moonshine, get that mocha java stuff. It's so good.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know,
Can't walk upstairs.
you've been working for like 4 hours, and you look down, that jar is 3/4 gone, and you're like, I'm going to pay for that shit later.
Yeah, you are.
Woo! Bad news bears.
Boom.
All right. He says here, I'm also taking the time to get into the trades. Working right hard on that. So I just passed my math test with a 240, so half is done, and now I need to pass the reading test with a 249 or higher. And I know I got this. Can't give up. Right now I'm working 2 jobs, and it takes a lot, but I can handle it. I work part-time at Dayton Freight, where I unload and load trucks for a few hours a night, work full-time. And it is something I don't like. I work at a shipping warehouse called Ryder, and I help pick cleaning supplies and ship them out to different stores and other customers. So that is something that I'm doing and taking steps to. The other thing I wanted to add is how I got more into the RP is that I watched the documentary, and it opened my eyes on how men are treated and how they are used. And that made me really mad, and I have the rage. After that, I watched... I had to cool down. I went for a walk to clear my head. I was feeling better, and I realized that I'm better off not having a relationship.
Uh-huh.
So I did watch that Red Pill documentary, and I had a more clear understanding on what's going on. Then after that, I watched it again, went on YouTube to do more research. Then I started watching Richard Cooper, Hammerhand, Better Bachelor, etc. And I clicked on you guys, and I watched everything from way back.
Yeah.
And I really liked what I heard. It made me laugh, opened my eyes, and I love watching your podcast on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Huge fan. Here's something else I want to say is that I'm focusing on myself, taking care of me. I'm done with everything that is going on, and I'm focusing on saving money for myself. I'm also never going to get married or have kids because I know what would happen. I don't want to get all my stuff taken away from me or my kids taken away and not seeing them ever again. Yeah. So MGTOW for life for me, and also to you, Pop, I want to say thank you for your service and for what you do, and Blake do for helping men in the world. Keep up the good work. Thanks again for saving my life.
All right, let's move it to 521.
521.
If I could not
drop shit on the floor, So, hope everybody has been having a good week. I've been working my arse off. Ugh. But, good piece of news. We're in the home stretch officially. On the new Working Man's Survival Guide webinar, I think I'm about 5 insert shots. You can take that any way you like. And a voiceover that has to be done for the last section. But it's about hour and a half, about 2 hours long. And it's going to be going up for sale 4th of July weekend. So you guys can look forward to start seeing some clips and things like that next week. It's going to be a winning phenomenon. What do you got over? Oh, you did it now. I dropped like 3 of them. Of course you did.
Sorry, man.
That's what you get for drinking all my beer.
I had a fat finger moment right there.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Things happen. What can you do? Well, thank you very much, F. Laddie. Appreciate the email. We love hearing all these guys' stories.
Well, my thing is this. I'm trying to get the message to the kids out there that are 15. Because right around that age is when you really start to fall under, you become a dick zombie. I mean, that's the only way you can explain it.
I'm not even going to
argue. You literally
with
go into this dick fog and you wander through life, and you gauge everything on how hard your penis gets and which direction is pointing at that particular time.
You're not wrong.
And a lot of these guys, literally pump these chicks full of seed, grow weeds that haunt them for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
I mean,
and you got to pay for that weed for 18 to 21 years.
18 to 25. And most of these guys literally think themselves into slavery and poverty.
Yeah.
And then,
bad news bears.
And then you get to that point where you just can't get ahead, and then you wind up hopeless, and you shoot your head off. And not the little head either, the big head.
Yeah.
Which is so dumb.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to do anything, shoot off the little head. That's where all the bad decisions come out.
I wouldn't go that far.
No, I wouldn't go that far either. I'm just saying, if you have to pick.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, it took me a while to get beyond the dick thinking. Even after I got divorced, I was still slightly blue-pilled, and it took the horse chick to kick me in the Johnson. And I finally, maybe this isn't for me.
Horse chick who may or may not have videos online.
Yeah, well,
not that you would want to see them or anything.
Listen,
I saw them, and they were...
Listen, karma hit that woman hard.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Shit, man.
I mean, I saw those videos online she made with this other guy, and now she's north of 50. She's basically a day older than me, and I saw her a few months back, and holy shit.
Oh, really?
And maybe it was a little over a year. I was like, oh, my God.
So did you take a left turn at her place of residence?
No.
Stop! Don't touch me there. This is my no-no square. Stop!
No, that's the one I said pass to.
Oh, okay.
I was just literally grabbing some beer out of the cooler, and then I shut the door, and she was standing right there, and I didn't say anything. Before she could speak, I just went, pass, about face, walked up to the register, paid for my beer, and left. That was it.
Pass.
That's all I said.
Gets the point across.
Yeah, I'm done. It's a done deal.
El Snows just said, gonorrhea, no, when he wants the printer noise. So I'm going to put the camera on you, and you can make the face. You ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. That's kind of how I felt reading that email. It's like, okay, I was trying to think. There should be a comma here. There should be a period here.
Comments are subjective.
You're subjective. Speaking of subjective, and this kind of was the catalyst that kicked off the entire idea for tonight's stream, was this viral video that went out on, I think it was Twatter. It was another one of those man/woman on the street interview things. And this was the question that was pointed to this, stunning and brave BIPOC female. What privileges do straight white men have that you don't? But it's the lead up that makes it even funnier when that question is asked.
All right, here we go.
Tired of straight white men having the power and everything, and it's like we as women of color, as like students at this university, like we're very much capable of certain things, and we don't have the same privileges that are offered to straight white men.
And I've been hearing that from a lot of the ladies that I've been talking to today. Talk to me about what some of those privileges are that, straight white men have that you don't have. Talk to me about that.
Specifics.
I don't really know. Have you ever experienced like a specific instance?
I also need to go.
I know, I do need to go. I'm sorry.
Shocker.
All right, this is a prime example of them being told what to think
And not how to think.
and not how to think. You parrot the same shit into these women's heads full of mush and villainy, and they literally just parrot it back. Oh, patriarchy.
Oh, patriarchy.
Have all the
Evil
privileges.
straight white men. Everything's white supreme pizza. Being on time is white supreme pizza. You know the one that I heard earlier today? Somebody sent me a video on this. Toilets and plumbing are now white supreme pizza.
Yeah, and here's another benefit you get from being a white dude. Did you know that 80% of all of the dead in all of the cemeteries of soldiers and servicemen who fought for this country were white?
Oh, such a privilege. Such a privilege to
Just
fight
so you
for
know.
a country that has now completely turned its back on its founding principles.
Correct. Yeah, it's bad.
Oh man, you could hook up a freaking like centrifuge or whatever you would want to call it, whatever it's called, to these dudes' graves, and you could probably power the United States on these motherfuckers spinning in there.
Yeah,
Because this is
it's nuts.
this is bad, right?
This is
this
real
is bad. Gosh. Whew. It's just hilarious, and I love that as soon as specifics were involved, I gotta go.
Yeah,
I don't have an answer. I gotta go.
yeah, because literally they don't have any facts.
They couldn't even like refer to the bullshit that Peggy McIntosh wrote, which was nothing but anecdotes. Not a single thing was researched, not one thing was verified, not one thing was sourced. The origin of white privilege is literally one old white can't understand normal thinker's opinion to try to ingratiate herself and glorify her own compassion to her stunning and brave BIPOC colleagues. That's how fucking pathetic this whole thing is.
Yep.
Amazing.
Insane. But yeah, I mean, I am not shocked at all that, this dumb bitch said that shit.
I'm not shocked either. But it really lets you know the headspace that modern women are in nowadays. And so when you see answers like this, it's no surprise that we get stories like these.
Hang on. I mean, literally, these women of today are walking around with one huge brain housing disconnect. And then it's moved over to the gay community, the XY crosswires.
Yeah.
And they can't even determine if they're men or women.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, wow.
I mean, just think about how stupid this is. This occurred to me the other day, and I brought this up to a room full of moms, and every one of them was like, wow, people really are stupid. All right. We are now living in a country where we are supposed to see somebody pretending to be the opposite sex as something that is beyond criticism. You mention one thing other than glowing praise and affirmation, you're an istophobic.
I'm fine with that.
But if children dress up in a Halloween costume of a character that is anything other than their own native culture,
cultural appropriation.
Really?
Yeah. They just want to fight over stupid shit that doesn't matter.
Cultural appropriation bad, gender appropriation good.
Yeah. Listen, I love cultural appropriation. I love pizza. I love Chinese food. I love going to the Japanese steakhouse.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that ginger sauce is beyond good. I mean, I like to drive, German sports cars. And, I mean, it just is what it is. If that's cultural appropriation, you got me.
We used to all agree that variety was the spice of life. It's good to have a wide selection of things that you can enjoy and appreciate about other cultures because imitation, last I heard, is the most sincere form of flattery. Unless you're white.
Unless you're white. Yeah. And they want you to do nothing, sit in your house, and one day kill yourself because you're just racked with guilt for shit your ancestors did.
We got a Revan in the chat says, Italy loves you, Pop. Send him a lasagna. I guarantee you he'll totally save some for me.
Yeah. I'll come back 210.
You fat hungry
I'll go there
bastard.
for a week and come back 20 pounds heavier.
You fat hungry
Listen,
bastard.
the same thing happened to me when I went to the Mohawk Valley in New York.
Oh, yeah?
Well, first of all, you had Saranac beer, which is really good.
That was that beer that Ballistic Zero brought, right? Yeah.
And then they had the soda. They make the Saranac soda. And then you can't even have like Pizza Hut or Domino's in there because there's so many mom and pop pizza joints. Like literally within a week, I was, I mean, literally, I could hear myself.
I could just picture you like walking around and you've got like a whole pizza rolled into a burrito just tucked under your arm and just picking at it walking down the street.
Dude, it was so good.
Somebody tries to come up and grab a slice.
My favorite place was this guy named Primo's who had a pizza joint out of a house.
Oh, just out of a house.
It was out of a house.
Well, that's probably the best pizza you ever had then, if I would have to guess.
It wasn't quite the best.
Up there, though?
But it was in the top 10.
You've had a lot of pizza.
Yeah, and I'm thinking I might do a show where I just go around tasting pizza.
I think we found the other half of why it took you so long to drop from 220. You got the booze and the pizza.
I love it.
And when you combine those, especially like beer with pizza, I mean,
you're done.
About it.
You're done.
Just pour it all over your ass and sit right down in the gloppy cheese and pepperoni.
Where it's going,
That's exactly
baby.
where it's going.
Yeah.
But what do you say we read a story?
Yeah.
from a good fan here. I read this one earlier. It's pretty damn good, and it gives you some good advice. It's called Please Don't Sleep with a 304. And I love how he does this right at the beginning. Please don't use my name if you decide to use this story. The names have been changed so I won't get sued. That's wise. I want to share a story with you and your followers that happened to me that perfectly illustrates that hypergamy drives most of the decisions that modern 304 women make. First, a little background to set the stage. I'm a service, retired California police officer who put in my 30 years.
Damn.
My wife and I recently moved and now live in an upper-middle-class neighborhood. I was looking for a barbershop close to my new house, but was unsuccessful. I gave up looking, and my wife suggested that I start to get my hair cut at one of those national chain men's haircut shops that feature those hot female stylists.
I've been to those. Big mistake. They're expensive.
Very expensive. It was close by, and the view inside wasn't bad. My wife knows that I'm loyal and not impressed by sleuts. The stylist I was assigned to was Wendy. Wendy was a bottle blonde with huge fake cans the size of volleyballs.
Yeah!
I thought of the massive fake boobs. They looked ridiculous on her 5'6" frame. She was obviously into fitness because she had well-developed quads. I've always tried to maintain my fitness, so I felt this was a safe topic of discussion. As she washed and cut my hair, we talked about working out. I noticed a picture of a kid, and I asked her about it. She told me that she was married and what grade her kid was in. Knowing that she was married afforded me a false sense of security. Doesn't it always? I was, of course, wearing my wedding ring, and I thought I was on safe footing, so I relaxed and let my guard down.
Yeah.
We all know where this is going. Over the next several months, she expressed her interest in becoming a police officer with the local department. Then, out of a desire to help, I shared my work history. I explained that I still have some of my work-related materials. She was welcome to have them if she wanted to study them. She stated that she was interested if it could help her study. Of course, I shared this with my wife because we have no secrets, and I unfortunately tend to be honest to a fault and somewhat naive about women because of my religious upbringing.
You're not the only one, brother.
But hey, if it keeps you from getting divorced, I'll let you have a little naivete.
Yeah.
I was a field training officer in my department and always looked for potential recruits. So the next time I got a haircut, I bought her a bunch of stuff to help. Then, over the next several visits, I heard about her efforts to get into the police academy. She was hired and accepted. She told me that she would not be cutting my hair any longer and introduced me to her replacement, Lauren. Told her congratulations and paid my bill. As I walked to my car, Wendy followed me.
Here we go.
She told me that she was very grateful for my help.
Was she doing this? Because she's
I'm
warming up to
so
help.
glad for your help.
Yeah, she's just trying to warm you up to give you proper thanks.
Give you proper. Do you like this, or do you prefer the fresh ground pepper?
Or you like to tickle.
No, now if you do the harsher, that's the Indian rug burn. You don't want that, probably.
I said I was glad to help and good luck. She then closed the distance between us and placed one of her massive boobs against my arm. Somebody's done this to me.
Uh-huh.
She gently moved it up and down my arm while asking me if I'd be interested in a booty call.
No.
Wow. I was stunned. Said, no, thank you. I'm married. And after a moment's pause, I recalled and said, you're married too. To which she responded, well, it is just a booty call. It's not like I haven't done it before.
Uh-huh.
I stepped back and told her my only interest was purely altruistic, that I was just trying to help and I wasn't expecting anything in return.
She said, I know. That's what I find so attractive about you.
Crazy. That's a crazy-ass woman right there.
A few moments later. No, that's not what happened. She said, I got out of there as fast as possible.
Uh-huh.
But wait, there's more. Over the next few months, Lauren kept me appraised of Wendy's situation. Apparently, while in the academy, she slept with another married instructor hoping to get special treatment. He got disciplined by the department for his actions because she wanted him to leave his wife for her. He refused, and she got kicked out of the academy. She then... We really don't use that thing enough. She then hooked up with another guy and left her husband and is back to cutting hair in a different shop, still looking for the next opportunity to monkey branch. Please share this with your supporters because women can be predatory and they absolutely use their bodies to get what they want.
Oh, yes. Yes, they do.
Yeah.
That's absolutely correct.
One of the biggest lies that a woman will tell you about enhancing their figure with fake tits, injections, working out, filters, posting photos on social media. The biggest lie women tell, aside from average body type, I do this for me.
Or, I haven't done this before. Or,
bullshit.
or this. I normally don't do this. Yeah, okay.
If you've ever heard that, you can expect to have your balls have a little extra itch in their scratch in the morning.
I mean, that reminds me of when I came out from the bar on Fort Lewis, and on the hood of my car was the spring, so there was a lot of pollen and dust. There's a perfect set of tits. and I'm like, God damn it. You could have done that somewhere else. Oh, damn. Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, just keep moving.
Like, literally, there's women out there who, they're like the bionic woman.
Yeah.
They get all of this augmentation, and they have all of the filters and stuff, and then they look you in the face and go, I want a real man.
I want a real man.
Ah,
No.
okay.
Some of them take it to levels that are downright terrifying.
Psychotic?
Yeah, I mean, remember the chick whose tit exploded?
Yes. Oh.
That was one of the worst I've ever seen.
Please,
This is up there.
please, I don't want to remember it.
It's not the same chick.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
I'll show you the headline. And I didn't send, like, Pop loves to be surprised. Well, not always, but he likes to be surprised because he wants these reactions to be authentic. So he has not seen this article before.
No.
He has no idea what this chick looks like.
It looks bad, though.
I'm labeled a freak, but I think I'm beautiful with my $12,000 extreme body modifications. Are you ready to see what this female looks like?
Okay, this is going to be bad. What? Oh!
And I guarantee you she blames the patriarchy for not being able to hold a job.
All right, that is walking mental illness.
Yeah. I'm, what do you even say? I mean, she's literally got things implanted under her skin. She looks like she's part Klingon.
Yeah, and she had the holes cut in the side of her nose.
How many piercings is that just around her mouth? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Just around her mouth. And then, of course, she's got her nose is gauged, so now she has 4 nostrils. I guarantee you, if you blew a wad in this chick's mouth and made her laugh,
It's over.
it would be fucking hilarious.
My thing is this.
Ah!
This woman is going to be absolutely miserable in 20 years.
Oh, without a doubt.
Holy shit.
That's what she used to look like. A pretty standard plain Jane.
Yeah, I mean, she's like a 5.
Like a 4, 4.5.
4.5? Oh, I got to look at her body.
Okay.
Oh, my God.
It looks like she killed 2 silverfishes and glued them to her eyes. And why is the one on the right and the left is like black?
Well,
the other one
those
is
are
white.
Those are custom. You can get those.
Holy shit! Those are her ears.
What?
Those are not earrings.
Oh my God!
Those are
I
her
didn't even
ears
see that
dangling
taffy?
next to her chin. Those are her earlobes themselves.
Wow.
Whoa. Seriously, how do you go from this, cute little kid, to this? Shit, man, even Beetlejuice would be like, nice fucking septum. No.
I wonder who she saw that did something similar, and then she was like, "Hold my beer." The curse of the redneck. Hold my beer.
Hold my beer. Although now it's Modelo and not Bud Light. Wow. Oh, God, there's another one. There's more. You get a really good look at the forehead shit on this one. Oh, wow. I'm sorry to everybody out there who's eating. Sorry, Gene. I know you're eating. My bad. But what really, like, this is modernity in a nutshell. Like, this is everything that has become degenerate and yet somehow mainstream.
I know, it's insane.
So, with that in mind, we're going to go into this Title IX from Hell story. Now, this is a long story. It's going to take us a while to get through. But especially if you're college age, you're considering going to college, maybe you're older and you're considering going back to college, this shit could be waiting for you.
And listen, if you have a Title IX story, you send it in. We'll read it on the air next time we cover the subject.
This is Title IX from Hell.
Because people get fucked at this Title IX horse shit all the time.
Yeah. This person goes by the name Schismatics. At the time of this writing, I'm watching your Don't You Dare Judge Me episode live. Can't wait to see yet more reflections of my past. Tends to be a running gag in most episodes for me. Welcome to the club, man.
Very common, very common.
I almost decided to let this one go and not write it to you. I've rolled it around in my head for a few months now, wondering whether or not I should relive the entire experience mentally, because it's not something I like to recall. Considering how much help I've had and not giving up on life from previous episodes and emails, I thought that I should pay it forward in this case. Your not-so-subtle reminders also didn't hurt. Anywho, this dumpster fire of a fucking nightmare begins spring of 2011 at a college in eastern New York. Is that red trash land, or is that more like Manhattan area?
I think it's outside red trash land.
Okay. Fun fact, he says, April 4th of that year, the proverbial Dear Colleague letter was made for Title IX. And a too long didn't read of this. It basically means that all of the more than 7,000 colleges that receive federal money are required to use the lowest standard of proof, what is called a preponderance of the evidence for adjudicating.
Yeah.
Something to keep in mind for what's to come. All over your face, neck, back, and thighs. What began as an awesome party night, going to random townhouses across campus, ended with me being talked into allowing my roommate's girlfriend and her best friend into my double. And who was a stiletto-wearing Kowantaha who, unbeknownst to me at the time. All I knew was that she liked to come to my townhouse with her boyfriend and drink my beer.
Okay.
That happens. It sounds like college to me.
Yeah.
My roommate wasn't there, so she asked if she could just stay in his bed. Simp that I was, I allowed it. Her friend wanted to hop in my bed.
Oh.
Saying no wasn't really my thing at the time with my retarded mind. Well, it wasn't your mind. It was
You're
down
dick thinking and you're living in the blue pill world.
Do it, you fool. But things could happen. Shut up.
It'll be fine.
It'll be fun.
Do it. What could go wrong?
What could go wrong?
Get yourself a free piece of poon.
Yeah, we've all told ourselves.
Something tells me that later on in the story, that poon wasn't free.
No. So anyway, his little head said, by all means, as I welcomed her. Important part for later, before the lights went out, this chick, who will henceforth be known as Quantaha, was posing with her ass on my crotch, grinding and grinning for photos for her friend across the room. Clothes were still on, as of course this was a Catholic college. Sarcasm intended. Eventually, I found out Quantaha was fighting with Quantaha's boyfriend at the time and just wanted to make him angry. Shocking revelation, I know.
Women don't never do that.
No. They never voluntarily trigger drama just to keep it interesting. That's not why they watch soap operas. Once again, Captain Blue Pill Save-A-Ho Mind of Minds encouraged the behavior and doesn't kick the Quantaha out on the spot. Bless you. Eventually, the lights go out. My roommate's lady still wants to wait for him, so she remains about 6 feet across the room and appears to be taking a nap. Her friend, however, had taken out her boobas and was busy sucking my face and tugging on my schwans. She said to be quiet so that my roommate's girlfriend wouldn't hear. Unfortunately/fortunately for me, I had sucked them nips and had pleasured that bean when all of a sudden my roommate's girl got up across the room, so she wasn't napping, and began to leave without saying a word. Quantaha sprung off of me and called after her. She heads out, rushing to put her stilettos back and her boobs back in. Meanwhile, Captain Simp feels good about himself.
There you go.
And goes to sleep. Everything is fine. Everything is awesome. Captain Simp got his pee-pee touched. Yay!
Here we go.
Thus begins my trial by fire. A few days after the incident, I spotted Quantaha with crocodile tears pleading to her boyfriend, maybe ex-boyfriend, in the science hall. In my mind, I was all like, relationship troubles? Not so funny for the Quantaha, it turns out. She spots me going to a class upstairs and immediately goes into victim mode in front of the boyfriend. She and him began glaring at me. And in this case, I mean just staring me down. I gave them a knowing look and proceeded to class, wondering why I'm the one who's an a-hole. Oh, wait, that's right. I'm a white dude in an American college.
There you go.
Then I made a mistake that I'm pretty sure started the whole thing. I texted her and told her to F off, and then I was done with her. Sometimes telling the person who has infinite power in college to F off will get you in hot water. Wait a minute. Even if you don't do that, you can get into hot water too. So just stop going to college and get a trade.
Yep.
A short time later, I was walking to class and was interrupted by a fucking dean of students. A dean intended, they just keep piling more on. He stops me and hands me a letter with a look of importance and worry on his face. I open the letter, and it's what's called an order of no contact against me from the Quantaha.
Okay.
I start yelling at him, basically asking, what the hell is going on? She hopped on me, etc. All of this was to no avail. He just shrugged.
Oh, there's really nothing he could do.
No. Quantaha's friend, as in my roommate's girlfriend, called me up shortly thereafter. She said there was some guy in public safety that wanted to speak to me. That he was really nice and that I should talk to him.
No.
What could go wrong?
No.
Captain Simp springs into action. Of course I'll talk with him. I'll make this right.
It never happens.
Anyone who's been watching Pop's show for any meaningful amount of time knows this is not the case.
Nope.
That this is retarded. But nope, I was in college. I'm right, you're wrong, and I'm ready to take on the world alone.
I'm going to be honest. You go to the meeting, but bring a lawyer.
Yeah. So I walked over to the public safety building, a.k.a. campus cops, to meet this guy. He pulls me into a room alone and begins his speech, which began as strangely as it ended. I don't remember the precise wording, but it roughly translated to,
Yeah, I've helped guys in situations like yours plenty of times. Just tell me what happened. We'll get it all written down.
something odd was happening on his face. But I recognized it as strange, and it's now what I know as duper's delight.
What is that?
Somebody who was duping you and getting off on it by leading you down the primrose path to destruction. As suspicious as I was, I tell him what happened and ask him precisely why I was called in, basically demanding to know why there was an interest in me in the first place. He continued to type away slowly. At points he interjected shit like, "Did you ejaculate?" He appeared to be extremely excited at that part, till I told him no. Then back to hunt and peck at the keyboard.
Yeah.
I ain't quite mocking people like this, but I am disappointed in them. I grew more suspicious of what was going on. At the time, I had no idea what the hell a Title IX case was, and why I felt like I was getting interrogated, which I was. Duper's delight was still spread across his face as he continued to type. Eventually, he asked me to read what he typed. I asked him if I could type it, as he was leaving out a lot of shit I thought was important.
They always do. That's why you don't ever go there and make a statement without an attorney.
Yeah.
If you had an attorney with you, he'd be like, wait a minute. Nope.
Yep.
We're not doing this. I'll see you in court.
You know, we said this in the new webinar that, you know, if you are walking around with a surveillance device, which you are, most of you, 99.99% of the time.
Well, I know.
It's a shame that it's just the government listening in on conversations. You have a voice memo on every single one of these mother fornicating pieces of infernal shit. Use it in situations like this.
Yep.
He told me to just sign it.
No.
And I could go.
No.
Once again, Captain Simp was all like, I did nothing wrong. I have nothing to worry about.
There we go.
Only speak with people who treat you like this with complete contempt or with a lawyer. One or the other. Not kidding.
Yes.
Later on, I was told by multiple people that Quantaha had spoken to every friar, yes, friars I know, about how much of a danger I was. I had random people giving me side eyes and wanting to start arguments.
Yeah, that's common.
The public, I don't know, the public reputation assassination has begun.
Yeah.
It's all happening behind the scenes.
Yeah.
At one gathering I was at, I had a group of her friends come in and try to interrogate me, and I told them, yeah, she did X, Y, Z. They looked like they still wanted to fight over it. I told them I didn't care what they think and got supremely confused as to why so many people suddenly hated my ever-loving guts, even people that I didn't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Along with random people in cars around campus screaming, hey, fuck you, name redacted. I started to get really worried that I had offended the wrong person.
Why? Never get worried about shit like that.
Well, there comes a time when your reputation is under attack where
I got you.
he didn't even really have to offend her because, I mean, she was the one who got up and left.
Yeah, yeah.
It probably was. I mean, like, this is one of the most common reasons that women lie about the snuggle struggle.
Yeah, I know.
Is because they get caught stepping out on somebody that they have a commitment to, and rather than facing the music, they try to change the tune.
Yeah, I got apparade.
Yeah. Speaking of change the tune, I'm going to take a quick break and let you guys know Jeffrey Paul, the man who composes all the music you guys know and love on this show, has a new album out. It is available on Apple Music and Amazon. You guys can check it out. It's called Music Is Her Name. You can buy individual tracks or the whole album for under $10.
All right.
The Grunt theme is on there, along with his themes for Red Pill Rhino and Hammerhand.
All right.
Just type in Jeffrey Paul, Music Is Her Name.
Boom.
Have at it.
There you go. That guy's a good dude, too.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Solid dude.
Not to mention talented as hell.
Oh, fuck yeah.
He can shred. There's no doubt about that. All right, here we go. This part should have been an eye-opening moment. But, unfortunately, I was really stupid, and I didn't recognize it for what it was. Came back to my townhouse later on during the semester to find a lot of people in my place.
Ooh.
I heard someone upstairs call my name out in a questioning tone. I went upstairs to find that my room was being raided.
Wow.
That escalated quickly.
Wow.
My roommate was being investigated for some reason, which later turned out to be for dealing drugs. I went out for a cigarette on my porch. Eventually, they all came out with my roommate being taken away in handcuffs on a fucking golf cart.
Wow.
Lo and behold, the piece of shit that had interrogated me walked up behind me and whispered, "We make our own beds," and made that same Duper's Delight face.
Oh, my God.
At this point, I didn't know what to think. I knew that he had smoked weed, but I never saw him deal anything. Anyways, he talked to me later in the semester. The cops believed whatever he had to say and let him go. He was banned from living on campus, though, from then on. So even though he told the truth and he was found not guilty, they still punished him.
Listen, there needs to be lawsuits for that.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
This shit happens to men all around the country every day. Knowing what I now know, why this is happening should have been really obvious. But I just ignored it and went back to video games and making it through comp sci courses.
Okay.
Fast forward a few months. Everything's fine. Keep going to classes as usual and nothing happens. Summer break hits. I go to work as a sandwich maker and fry cook for a gas station. Don't you dare judge me.
No, that's solid work, man.
Gotta
It's
do
all
what you
good.
gotta do. While at work, I get a call from that same dean of students that handed me the order of no contact letter. The best way that I can describe his tone is one of dread. He tells me that Quantaha has decided to pursue me in a Title IX case.
Huh.
That there's some sort of cool-off waiting period for it, and that I was to be pursued on her decision. I was a bit shocked. I asked him, do I need a lawyer? Silence followed for a few seconds, followed by a no. Footnote for later, get a lawyer.
Get a fucking lawyer. Never talk to the cops.
Still on the call, I started getting pissed. I told him to give me everything that he has and that I'm really confused as to what I did wrong. They had still not actually told me anything other than I was being charged with a Title IX violation.
Okay.
That was another good choice, as I've heard people being charged with violations later on that didn't even get an explanation of what the fuck they did wrong. Eventually, we agreed on a place to meet, which is halfway between my residence at the time and the college. I drove to said meeting location and met 2 deans, the one that handed me the letter and another older one. They said that we should go to the local pizza place. I got handed some documents and sat my ass down. They left for another table. As I reviewed the documents, I was fuming. What it basically translated to was that she was claiming she was too drunk to have participated in activities. I recorded everything in the docs onto my laptop word for word. I tried to hide my rage from the deans, but apparently I was getting chuckled at. Want a slice of pizza? I heard from one of them. I gave them a single...
Yeah, that's how you get your ass fucking kicked.
Yeah.
Right there. And they're not even on campus. And they want us to talk some shit?
Yep.
I'm sorry. You want to get fucking stupid like that, guess what's going to happen? You're going to go back to the college missing some fucking teeth.
Damn right.
I'm getting really worked up now.
Oh, this gets worse.
Oh.
When I was finished, I said, thanks for coming, bye, and I got the hell out of there. When I got home, I had an email that was CC'd to basically the entire Dean of Students circle jerk, along with housing, which is comprised of, I'm pretty sure, precisely the people you don't want on your ass in college. I get a date to appear at a trial, which is actually a tribunal, which is actually what it's called.
It's a witch burning.
Yeah. What it actually is a bunch of feminasties who are going to try to browbeat you into submission. I did more research on precisely what Title IX was. At that point, I realized what was being done. I was supremely pissed and quite literally filled with righteous indignation. One of the few times that it's worked out well for me to have that happen. I began to comprise a list of questions for them, rage typing away about if this is the case, then how is it possible that X statements. The big hit was about her tugging on my schwans, along with walking home in her stilettos, both of which she had conveniently left out of the documentation. Turns out this was the best thing that I could have done because it accounted for what the Title IX investigator had tried to ignore. I told him that I didn't want those questions revealed until the day of the trial. Precisely why it was actually a good move is for later. The summation of what their rules entailed, though, this is the important part about Title IX in the early years. There's 6 of them. You are to testify alone or with an advocate of your choice. This can be anyone on campus or, as it turns out, a family member. I chose a brother who was closest in age. Why? I had lost faith in everyone at that dumpster fire except my roommate. He wanted to show up, but for reason unbeknownst to me at the time.
Show up with the lawyer.
But for reasons unbeknownst to myself at the time. He was the only one at home that listened to me about the entire shit show. My folks only knew after the fact, and my friends just laughed in my face about it.
They're not your friends.
No, those are assholes.
Yeah, cut them out of your life. You don't need them.
Yeah. 2, a lawyer could not be present during the tribunal.
Well, that is a big red flag if you're going to get screwed in the ass.
Oh, yeah.
I would have showed up with an attorney anyway.
Yeah.
And then if they would have said, we're not having the tribunal, you're out of college, you're like, good, I'm going to be suing you for millions of dollars.
There you go. Number 3, the rules that are very obviously pointed out that being removed from campus and not being able to attend classes or graduate was a likely possibility. Number 4, don't know if this is actually in the rules, but I wasn't to speak to any witnesses. This was very clearly a rules for thee, not for me, explained later.
Yep.
Number 5, your advocate, if you have one, is not allowed to speak to the tribunal. Only you. 6, some shit about equal representation for both sides for those on the tribunal. Oh, I'm sure that's exactly what it is.
Yep.
I got a reply back. One of the deans said that the CC list was a mistake.
Nope.
And that I should not reply all to it, pissing me off even more.
I would have replied to all.
Yeah, me too.
I'd have said, oh, you don't want me to do that? Well, guess what's happening now,
Game on.
mother fornicator.
From that point on, I was determined to fight the college with everything I had.
Yep.
In further correspondence, I asked what law I'd violated. I got a reply back stating that the college was not an institution that was governed by New York state law and that it was the college's rules that were being applied. Oh, made me so happy to see that.
Yeah.
One shining moment of that summer is that I got a call from a witness. She said it was bullshit what was happening. This is a person I barely knew, but who had apparently seen me in Quantaha that night. She explained that Quantaha was walking and behaving just fine. Not quite sure precisely what she said, but it basically amounted to Quantaha being fine and me being wasted. I concede I'd had a few, but that's a bit for later. I told her thank you and asked if she would tell the college. She agreed, however, they made her write a fucking statement that had to be notarized, unlike everyone else that was interviewed.
Uh-huh.
Lovely. So everybody else can submit statements that are libelous, slanderous, completely fabricated. They don't have to have a signed notarized statement, which means that they are not legally bound to it. His witnesses are.
Yeah.
So much for equal application of the law. I'm going to skip the time leading up to the tribunal. It was some of the darkest of my life. I'd rather not remember it. But at its worst, I was thinking about jumping off the mountaintop that I was on and just ending it.
No.
I had lost many of whom I thought were my friends, both in college and the people I tried to explain the situation to back home. But I had reached fuck it mode. That's the too long didn't read of it.
Fuck it. I got
Yeah.
it. I've been there myself, bro.
You know, when you hear stories like this, it just shows you that the whole rap pay culture thing is one of the most pervasively evil myths that has ever been pushed on us.
Correct.
Because it doesn't exist. If these people, family, friends, are willing to turn on this guy based on the word of a woman alone,
They're not your friends.
there's no rap pay culture in the West.
Well, the thing is, and this is going to be hard for a lot of young men out there to hear. All of the friends that you have in high school, when you get out of high school, maybe you'll talk to one or two. By the time you've been out of high school 10 years, you're not going to speak to them. The friends you make in college, all of them, for the most part, they're just fair weather friends, meaning when times are good
Oh, yeah.
and you have free shit, they show up and they're all nice and stuff. But when you need them, when the rubber hits the road, they're nowhere to be found.
Exactly.
Cut those people out of your life. Look them in the face and go, you are a sheeple piece of crap. I don't need you in my life. You're nothing but a weak parasite.
Meh.
I'm done with you.
You're damn
Get
right.
rid of them.
They're not going to take you anywhere good.
No.
Oh, skipping to the day of the tribunal. I'd shown my brother everything I had. I met my ex-roommate sitting on the green in the middle of campus, along with my brother, who was about as pissed off as I was. The younger dean came out to meet us. Apparently, I didn't even have to call him. My brother stares him in the face and shakes his hand. This guy hangs his head as my brother keeps staring and shaking his hand. He told us where to go for the tribunal, and we went on our merry way. Fun fact, my brother was in the guard at the time.
Uh-huh.
Maybe Pop can explain this, but he wouldn't even look my brother in the eye.
Because, I'm going to be honest, weak men don't like to make eye contact.
Yeah. And this dean knew he was fucking over this guy's brother. He knew it.
He knew it.
We got to the building and were greeted by the old dean that had met me halfway at the pizza place. He told me that they were ready for us and just to head in. Except my ex-roommate, he had to wait. Inside was a long table with 5 people on the left side. The only one that I recognized was the leader of some women's organization on campus. I forget which one, but internally I was saying, fucking damn it, shit fuck. The other 4 I didn't recognize. My brother and I sat down across from them. I was trying to keep my rage in check, which ended up, looking back on it along with my brother telling me about it, the effect of a perma-resting bitch face.
It's understandable.
Yeah. I spoke first and asked them to explain what I was there for. The guy in the center gave a sigh. And that I was there for unwanted sexual contact. And didn't bother to explain further. What followed was a back and forth about what was on the documents, which involved me drawing on a damn whiteboard showing how unreasonable it was, along with the fact that multiple people saw the aftermath or lack thereof. The 4th from the left, whoever he was, who also said barely anything, decided to try and glare me down. I glared back for a few seconds until he cut the shit. Basically, nothing of worth was said that far in, just going over what was said in the documents, confirming that I had sent her the text messages telling her to F off and that I was done with her. And I confirmed that, yes, I had in fact sent those.
Yeah.
They pressed on me how much I had to drink that night. I told them it was a few, with a look of, yes, I know I was drinking. I told them that Quantaha had stuck her hand down my pants for a handy, and that there was no confirmed penetration, and that Quantaha had left unabated with her best friend. None of this was up for debate. At the end of my rant, I asked them quite poignantly if anyone had any more questions for me. They just stared at the table for a few seconds.
Huh.
Eventually, the guy in the middle, who appeared to be the leader, called for a break in conversation while we just sat across from each other. I turned to my brother to confer with him, at which point this motherfucker squeaks out, "We can hear you," in the most effeminate voice you can imagine. I slowly turned head at him and waved my hand toward the floor in what I thought was a polite way of saying that I don't care.
No, this is what you say. You wave at him and go, "It must be your elevated estrogen."
Suck a dick!
I'm just saying. That would be... it's something I would say.
Yeah, I like it. And I went back to talking with my brother. After a few seconds, guy in the middle sighs. He asked, "Who started this?" At this point, I went full rage mode and told them play by play of what had happened. That she started it, that she had been grinding on me, that she had stuck her hand down my pants. He got this coy smile on his face, and once again, I saw what's known as deceiver's delight. In an authoritative tone, as he asked me to describe further. At this point, I stopped trying to play nice, looked him straight in the eyes, and I spoke. I said, "Okay. She stuck her hand down my pants and grabbed onto my penis, and then in a jerking motion..." And I trailed off and stopped talking because the wind that he thought he was going to get suddenly vanished from his face. The jerk was noticed by everyone. Everyone was just hanging their heads at that point. I looked at them waiting for a response. Nothing was happening. Nothing was being said. Everyone was just silent. I asked if anyone had anything more to ask. More silence. The guy in the middle goes into what I can term now as soy speak. I like that. "Thanks for coming down," or something along those lines. My brother and I looked at each other and got up. I gave him an response as I left. The old dean stopped me after I opened the door at the exit, sighed, and told me about what to expect, that a verdict was coming at some point soon. I said goodbye to my old roommate, made my way back home as my brother laughed his ass off, wondering why the hell we got called for this.
Well, first of all, you shouldn't show up at the tribunal and not even know why the hell you're going. They need to tell you that ahead of time.
Yep.
I mean, you don't.
They want to catch you off guard so that you're flustered and make mistakes.
Yeah, that's insane. And if this is going to have, you're not graduating from this college, and this is serious repercussions.
This is psychological torture.
Well, yeah, there's that, and you should have a lawyer present. And the mere fact that they say you can't have a lawyer means it's totally invalid.
Yeah, it's completely invalid. Oh boy, let's see how it goes here. Turned the music up. Kept being as angry as I've ever been. Stopped at Subway, bought him a sandwich. Weeks go by. I'm wondering if I will in fact have a future. I thought college was necessary, but it's not. A blue pill fucks you over with more things than just women.
Yeah.
I got a letter in the mail from the college. I have a sense of anticipation that I haven't felt since. As I opened the letter, my heart felt like it was going to explode. I read through it, and my eyes lit up. It stated that I was not responsible, along with too long didn't read about appeals. That night and the weeks that followed, I felt a sense of joy and a sense of spirit that I wish that I could replicate to this day. I showed the people that had ridiculed me the letter and explained to them what had happened. For a later email, I should have went back to them, but they didn't act happy for me that summer. We partied like I haven't since.
Well, hang on. They aren't your friends.
No.
Why would you even try to prove anything to these people?
I would tell
they
them.
dumped you like a hot potato at the first opportunity.
I would show them the letter and then, hold it in front of their face. See that? Oh, yeah, that's great. Psh.
That's right.
That's how you handle that.
Or you throw a nice cold beer in their face.
Or a big old dick. Oh, it hit the guitar.
You hit the guitar string. That's pretty... Wow!
I won't be starting a music career throwing dicks at musical instruments, so please don't ask. Although you can imagine the flyers for that particular concert. Women with strings in their mouths just like throwing dicks at their... Disgusting. And then I got another fucking email. Apparently... there's an appeals process that the Quantaha had initiated. The college demanded that I come back to answer some extra paperwork that was submitted by Quantaha after the verdict. Looking back on it, it had semblances to Amber Heard's post-trial shenanigans, but I digress. I sank back into rage. Replied to the email in what initially I thought was the most condescending, annoying manner that I could. I told them if they wanted me to appear, they had to pay my day's wage, the cost of gas back and forth, and for my brother's sandwich. There were a few pages of me being an absolute a-hole to these people, but the part that I remember strongly was the ending sentence. She's lying, psychotic, or both. I really don't know which one. I anticipated that to rustle some jimmies. Spoiler alert, it did.
Nice.
I had just given up on the thought that this was going to somehow work itself out after seeing Title IX conviction rates. Last I checked, I had a 1 to 2% chance, just going by forums.
That's very slim.
I was quite literally the definition of despair at that point, thinking there was no use talking to these people. I got a reply back eventually, though, surprisingly saying that it was okay to wait till I got back. That raised my eyebrow, and eventually I hit the fall semester. What follows is a series of events that have been seared into my mind. I cannot get rid of it. I can only try to ignore it when it pops into my head when I hear a similar story. It does seem ridiculous to me that this would be what I'm angry about, but since I had refused to talk about this to this extent with anyone, I got called in shortly after I returned to campus to speak with the older dean. I asked if I could bring my ex-roommate, who at this point knew that I had been found not responsible. We went to his office to review paperwork. The guy said that recording devices and photos could not be used and left the room for us to review what was submitted.
When I would have immediately pulled out my phone and took pictures of everything.
Yeah. We both read the funniest LARP I had ever seen. Quite literally changing everything about the night in question. According to the Book of Quantaha, she changed her story top to bottom to claim that she had left my room, drank more beer, came back, and was blacking in and out of consciousness, along with a diatribe about how, yes, she had had a fight with her boyfriend, but that basically this was totally not about that.
All right, first of all,
wow.
If you're in a trial and the statements that are made change, that's a mistrial.
It's inadmissible.
Yeah, you're like, wait a minute, wait. She said this thing in the beginning, and now all of a sudden, I literally, when I read those, first of all, I would have pulled up my phone, took pictures, and I would have left, got a lawyer, and sued the college and that bitch.
Yeah,
I'm not even kidding. This is ridiculous.
Oh boy, can't wait to see what happens here.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, I know. I was like, can you feel your pulse in your neck yet?
Yes, I'm about ready to check my blood pressure, to be honest with you.
She wrote in detail about how she was scared of my ex-roommate and I coming after her. Him and I looked at each other knowingly. He, at this point, was angrier than I was, since it became apparently clear who had gotten him kicked off campus, that she was terrified of us coming after her. Then something else jumped out in the appeal. His girlfriend had testified. Quantaha was angry that it had become known that a handy was given to me while not giving any explanation of why she left it out of her original statement. She said that it was forced. My roommate's girlfriend, had been asked at the tribunal, apparently after me, if she noticed anything going on across the room. She described that she could see the sheets bobbing up and down. The reason that the appeal was going through was that Quantaha had written a statement saying that other people agreed with her but were basically scared to come forward. The old dean met us after we were done reading. I asked him if I needed to respond. He sighed and told me no. That it was some Latin phrase that I forget basically means fluff. I asked what the holdup was. Apparently the witness had not signed her statement. I gave a fry from Fururama squint. I asked if my roommate could come to my townhouse, and the guy actually accommodated me. To this day, I don't blame him for a cent of what happened due to that act of kindness. Skipping my roommate's conversation, basically just rage, pushing me to sue. At the time, I didn't agree with him and just wanted to be over with it. Seeing current year, he was right. However, I did want to talk to his now ex-girlfriend. Not wanting to get into why they broke up, but getting kicked off campus does damper on, one's love interests. I messaged her and asked if she would talk. She came over after my roommate was gone and asked to look over what I had written about the incident. I gave her my access to my PC to look at everything I had while I waited. Took her a bit, but she eventually nodded and turned to me. She said that she didn't know what to do when the messing around started, and she just tried to leave quietly, but that she could see and hear everything, and told me about what the tribunal did for her turn. They were trying to push her hard as they could about the booze. About her roommate's ability to handle herself, she said that if that's the case, then why isn't Quantaha getting punished for messing with a drunk man? Why was she able to walk her ass across campus in fucking dagger heels? And that Quantaha's initial statement upon leaving my townhouse was that I had tried to kiss her. Tee-hee! That she had called Quantaha out for bullshit on her way back to her place. That Quantaha's mother apparently was the one behind the entire process. That Quantaha's family would stop giving donations to the college if I wasn't kicked out. That the only reason that Quantaha lost the tribunal and that I wasn't removed from campus was that they didn't have enough time. Along with also learning a quote from this idiot that rings like a bell every time I hear about something similar in the news. I love ruining people's lives. Nice. She had apparently been telling everyone how she was going to do me across campus. This was, in fact, her downfall, as I will get to.
All right.
This was apparently what got my roommate's ex angry enough to testify. To this day, I wonder if it's a silver lining or not that Quantaha got called out by her friend. I told her that public safety was holding up the entire process, waiting for a signature. She gave me a confused look and told me that she would go find out about that. Got called back into the old dean's office to review a letter at this point. What the fuck is it now? Was going through my head on repeat. Sat me down, said it was nothing that was going to catch me off guard. Apparently, there were many more witnesses for the day after. That Quantaha was just fine at breakfast the next morning, no hangover, laughing along with everyone, no qualms whatsoever. Well, so good witnesses this time. As it turns out, she had pissed off more people than just me. But it was women in the end tossing their stories about her everywhere. She had apparently spread ketchup across her pants, walked up to her boyfriend and yelled at him, "Look what you made me do." There was more documentation about a question asked of a witness. Has Quantaha taken responsibility for anything? The answer was no. Never in the time the witness knew her, which was apparently more than just collegiate life. I still believe that it wasn't really me that was the biggest influence to this clusterfuck. It was everyone that had tried to interview that screwed Quantaha over along with herself. Eventually, I got the final email. Another tribunal awaits.
Oh,
this
my
time
God.
as an appeal appearance. Once again, I have reached post-fuck it mode. I walk in after class, sit my ass down in front of yet another 5 people. I told them if I looked perturbed, it's because I am. One thing I noticed, though, I for once saw someone that I actually knew. It was one of my software engineering professors. He glanced at me and looked down. This was a man I actually respected. It kind of put me off kilter. But not enough to get rid of my resting bitch face. One young lady eventually speaks up, peppy and bubbly as ever, and says, "We're sorry this took so long. Do you think you had enough time for the process?" I replied, I had 5 months, and just stared back at them. The rest was just formalities. At the time, I really don't know why I was called into that one. Checked my mailbox every day until the appeal response letter finally arrived. I tore it open to see that it was finally resolved. They even gave an explainer as to why, that everyone's statements were consistent except for Quantaha's. Shortly thereafter, as in a few days, said professor that I knew smiled at me when I saw him. He waved his hands toward the floor, just gave me a knowing look. I graduated the year after many, many more fun times with Quantaha and her boyfriend chasing me around to no avail. Everyone else had figured out what she had been up to. This is something important for everything in life. As far as I care, do not lie. And you don't need to worry about remembering details. The rage is relentless. It'll keep reminding you. I partied like no other after that. I'd write more about the aftermath, the celebrations, Quantaha following me around trying to cause more drama. But that may come in a follow-up email because the drama was just getting started at this point.
I love drama stories.
I'm tired and I want a beer and I want to stop thinking about this. I'm sending you this so I don't forget to write it again. A part 2 will come eventually. If you want, I'm going to the bar.
Well, I mean, when I went to Oakland University in Rochester Hills, I had a kerfuffle with one of the professors.
Kerfuffle?
Yeah. And, I can't help it. I'm an evil genius. And this is way, way, way beyond the statute of limitations. But I murdered his entire grass. And I called the EPA.
His grass.
Yeah, I literally herbicided the whole thing, and I called the EPA and reported him anonymously for using dioxin on his lawn.
Ooh. Boom, 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 boom.
Wow. Like literally, they had to come in, scrape off like 8 inches of the soil. Insane amount of money. Wow.
Oh, I bet that cost a nice pretty penny.
That and the anonymous letter, hey, if you want to screw with people, people can screw with you.
They'll fuck you over if you want them to. Where? Man, that is a hell of a story, though.
Wow. First of all, over the past 10 years, I've probably talked to about 40 guys who've been screwed over in this Title IX crap.
Oh, yeah.
It's literally a lynching.
Yep. There's no justice, no equal application of the rules, nothing.
Well, my thing is this.
They're after you. That's it.
If you show up to the tribunal with your attorney and they say, or not, you can't have an attorney, they're like, okay, then we'll conduct this in federal court.
Yeah.
Get ready. And then you just file a lawsuit. It's just that simple. I mean, if they're going to punish you criminally, because look, if they say you're not graduating, that means you don't get to transfer your credits or nothing. So all of that time and money you invested to get your degree is gone. That is a huge hit.
Yeah. And if it's done in this manner, they should be liable for refunding you every fucking dollar of it.
Yeah. And pay for your legal fees, the whole deal, punitive damages.
Wow.
Make demands that people get fired for cause.
Yep. It just sends the point home, though, that even if it's 1,000% her idea, even if there's a witness in the room, they can still attempt, and in many cases will be successful at ruining your life just because they didn't want to face the music of their own mistakes.
And the part that really pissed me off was the deans were like taunting this guy.
Yeah.
Now, I'm serious. If it was me, I would have said, look, you guys, we're not on campus. You're in the real world here.
Yeah.
All right. Shit's going to go south for you really bad if you don't shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I would have been like, yeah, it's like, I know he's an old man, but I still kind of want to punch him.
Nope. I don't know what it is about OU, but there was a couple professors there that were. I had one that just gave me a D- because he didn't like my politics.
Lovely.
I had to go to the dean. I fought it. I got a C-.
Yeah.
So the next year we're having a snowstorm, and you remember that long stretch of road between the campus and the freeway?
Of course.
Well, he had gone off the road into a ditch, and he's standing on the side road, and I roll the window down, and I look at him and go, well, I bet you wish you weren't such an asshole now, huh? And I just kept driving.
Yeah, I had a teacher like that at OU also. He
Yep.
taught my advanced writing class, and he was completely unqualified for the job. Like, I actually went and researched his credentials. I'm like, this guy's not a tenured professor. He doesn't even have a degree in this. Why the fuck is he teaching it? And he kept giving me shit on, like, everything that I would write. So finally, one day, when they were doing the teacher evaluations, I wrote down, it's like, do you have any words of advice for this teacher to help them in the future? I said, those who can't do, teach. Those who can't teach, teach Jim. Buy a whistle and stop teaching. And I handed it in right in front of him and made eye contact with him so that he knew to read it.
Good. And what was it? A couple months later, after that snow incident, I'm buying lunch, and professor walks up, cuts in line. I'm like, hey, fat boy, line's back there.
Fat boy. Fuck off, fat boy!
Listen, you're in college. You're all adults. Like Lindy, and I just came back from 2 wars.
Yeah.
Like, what? Are you serious? Get the hell back of the line, you boondoggler.
I mean, you've had your ass chewed by the best of them.
Oh,
A
yeah.
college professor isn't going to take any... They're not even going to register on the radar of ass chewing.
Listen, I've been yelled at by guys who had enough power to send me to my death,
There you go.
and I handled it just fine.
You even rated their ass chewings on a scale of 1 to 10. So,
Yeah, they got really upset about that.
but it's hilarious. You know, after they got upset about it, they probably went home that night and they're sitting there watching something, drinking a beer, going, all right, that was actually kind of funny.
Or, that dude's got some serious balls. Dude, he must keep a wheelbarrow in the hallway to carry him around.
He's shaving in the mirror. 7 out of 10, huh? I'll show you 7 out of 10.
It was 7.5.
7.5.
Yeah.
Either way, it's all good.
Yeah, and that was, I did that one to a full bird colonel. He was really pissed.
Oh, I'm sure he was. But what do you say we read some chats and then take a quick break?
Yeah, let's do that.
Gotta regather my voice here. Jackson Whittier, it is said in the Navy that 500 men go out to sea and 250 couples come back. Classic joke.
Uh-huh.
Dung is fun. Crazy girls make you rethink life every time. It's very, very solid
It's
observation.
going in the book.
Jackson Whittier, what is your opinion on adoption as a single man? If you can't go overseas, I see this potentially as an option to have children, but also bypass the whammon. What do you think?
Well, if you have the money, I mean, because adoption is no longer about, selfless. I just want to give a young kid a home. No. People are going to soak you for serious cash.
Yep.
It is a travesty. We have so many kids in the system that will remain there and have just crappy lives.
And it's all because the bureaucracy wants their cut.
Yeah. And that is some horse crap right there, man.
I spoke with people who, are in charge of adopting through the foster care system in the state. No, they won't just let you adopt. They basically want to co-parent with you for 3 fucking years. Surprise visits showing up. You can't give the kid a haircut unless you call these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
You can't go on vacation out of the state unless you call these people. And why? Because everybody wants their cut. It has nothing to do with the best interest of the child and everything to do with pocketing taxpayer dollars.
And it shouldn't be that way.
No, it shouldn't.
Now, listen, I understand that they have to investigate you and see what's going on in the beginning to make sure you're not like one of those people that saws people up in the shed in the backyard.
Understandable.
That's always a bad thing.
Well,
But other than that, get the hell out. Give me the kid. Get out of my life and let me get on with it.
And once you pass, the jumping through hoops and all that stuff,
Yeah.
I can understand wellness visits once a year, something like that for the first few. That's fine. But the fact that I can't give this kid a haircut without calling some bureaucratic bimbo, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
All right. I'm sorry. You got me spun up.
It's all good. Norpheus sent in a nice size super chat, $50. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
He says, my son turned me on to your videos, fellas.
Oh,
His son turned him on to it.
Wow.
Love the comedy. It's what all men need, and I'm a veteran as well. And I went through hell with his mother. So I think I've taught him damn well if he had to introduce me to your vids. Thank you. Thank you.
Now,
Holy,
listen,
that is awesome.
We need to have people share our channel and videos around because we're getting creamed by the algorithm.
Yeah. Norcephius, let us know how old your kid is. I'm curious.
Yeah,
If we're getting to him young or if he's in his late 20s.
And please like this video. Thumbs up. The whole
Thumbs up, please. 266 out of 558. Sounds kind of lazy, guys.
Yeah,
Come on.
And if you're not subscribed, subscribe because people are getting bounced off our channel.
Oh, yeah. We've been dipped back below 132,000 subs because YouTube has forcefully ejected over 200 people from us in just the last week and a half.
Correct.
Come on. He's 24.
Okay, good.
Awesome. Good. So he's still in his dick thinking years, but he has his blinders off.
Well, I just filmed the video, How to Stop Dick Thinking. You got to watch it.
Oh, that'll be coming out probably in a week or so.
Yeah.
What do we got here? Dark Pegasus 87. Did the patriarchy actually keep women in check? Well, if it was actually a patriarchy, maybe it would.
No. Men never kept women in check. You know what kept them in check? Reality. Because guess what? Back in the day, people died young from smallpox, cholera, hepatitis, syphilis. I mean, it was just terrible. And women knew I had to get with a good man or I'm screwed.
Yep.
And that's just the way it was.
Oh, God.
Now, I'm not going to sit there and tell you there wasn't some guys out there who tooled up their women, which I don't approve of at all.
No, I don't approve of that either.
If it gets to that point, pack your shit and leave because it's not going to work out.
You're damn right.
Oh, God.
Digital Do sent in a couple of videos. We'll probably wait until New Tech to watch those, but he also sent us the Urban Dictionary definition for happy tapioca. To be cornholed and submerged in pudding, as seen on Jimmy Kimmel's This Week in Unnecessary Censorship.
Ah!
He says, my uncle lives in California, Stan. We're in Vegas, taking him to a 304 house Saturday since I won $5,000. Bunny Ranch.
Oh, the 304 house. I love that.
The 304
house.
I'm going to the 304 house. You want to come?
Not right now.
When we get to the house.
I like it.
Sharpshooter James. Well, there went my supper with that chick. Oh, yeah, face. They're implanting shit under their skin now, so they look like aliens.
Yeah, that's just messed up.
Why don't men want me? Gee, I wonder why. You've taken everything that was feminine about yourself and flushed it down the fucking toilet like a turd. Gah. El Snows, what happened to that guest from Wayne City Jail? Have you talked to Matt?
He's still in jail.
He's still in jail.
He's still in jail. He's now in his 4th year in jail.
Shit.
I don't know what to do for the guy. I mean, I've tried to get him attorneys.
Yep.
He's screwed.
They're lynch mobbing him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like this Title IX shit.
That's pretty much what's happening.
They don't give a damn about his side of the story. They want their cut.
Well, first of all,
that's all.
Like this, he was messing around with a drug-addicted, crazy 304.
Yeah.
All right. She's been committed several times. And she made a statement. They arrested him, charged him, and he's been in jail for 4 years and without a trial.
Yeah. Despite the fact that her own background makes finding character witnesses to discredit her extraordinarily easy.
But the thing with
That's
Wayne,
why they're dragging it out. They just want to bleed him of his resources so he can't fight it anymore.
Yeah, and he has to take a plea deal. But he's not going to. I hope he doesn't.
I hope he doesn't.
You can't keep him there forever.
Mm-hmm.
Sooner or later, they're going to have to drop the charges because...
And the longer they keep him there, the more money he's
Yeah.
going to win when he takes these fuckers to court.
Yeah.
And they know that. I think they're hoping he's going to fucking die in jail or some shit at this point. Some evil mother fornicators down in Wayne County.
Well, I mean, I talked to him on the phone, and he had a couple altercations. He thinks the guards are having other people put pressure on him.
Would that shock you at all?
No, it would not.
Wow. What a nut roll, man. All right, that does it for the YouTube chats. Digital Dude, don't worry. We're going to watch your videos first thing on New Tech.
All right.
But, whoa, that's not a New Tech, but hey, preview of coming attractions. Preview of coming attractions at the 304 house.
The 304 house.
So, Jimmy Bones, if you want to slap those links in the chat over on YouTube, you guys can follow us on over. We're going to read some really good chats. We got some more stories, too, in a similar vein. I've been noticing them coming in. We're going to read the ones that are short enough to get to. And, yeah, it's going to be a good time.
All right.
Enjoy the Jeffrey Paul tunes. And don't forget, search him up on Apple Music and Amazon. Jeffrey Paul, Music Is Her Name. Get the new album. It's less than $10.
All right.
He's a good dude, and enjoy his tunes. See you in 5 minutes.
All right.